Welcome to another Power BI tutorial. Recently, Microsoft has introduced a lot of new and exciting changes to the Power BI application. These changes include the introduction of DAX Query View, new card visual, new button slicer, visual calculations, on-object interaction, build a visual button, dynamic values, Pane Switcher, analyzer, etc. Today, we will attempt to create a dashboard, using all these features, and learn them along the way. So, let's start our today's tutorial. We have an Excel file, with end of month date, name of salesperson, their email address, their sales, and profit. Finally, we have the name of file, containing their picture. The file name should be correct, for this to work. Then we have the actual files, containing their photos, in a folder. These files have exactly the same file names, entered in the data set. Download and install the latest Power BI desktop application, on your computer. Open the Power BI desktop application. Home is now your default view, when you open the application. This is the old layout of the Power BI desktop. If you see this view, go to the settings to activate the new preview features. In the options window, go to the preview features. Turn on the on-object interaction. Then turn on the new card visual, and button slicer visual. Turn on the DAX Query View. And finally, the visual calculations. Now, go to the report settings, and turn on the build a visual setting, if it is available. Otherwise, you need to apply the settings, and come back here after restarting the application. Turn on the application again, and go to the report settings. Turn on all visual options, and apply the settings. It is better to restart the application again. Now your layout in the Power BI desktop application should be different. Now you have DAX view, along with report view, table view, and the model view. On the right side, you have now Pane Switcher, which can display and hide panes like data pane and format pane. You can also add and remove panes, using the Customize Pane Switcher button. Here you have a list of panes, from which you can choose to include or exclude panes. Visualizations pane has been replaced with the Build a Visual pane. It can either be a part of Pane Switcher, or on object interaction. You can make it a part of Pane Switcher here. Now you can see it in the Pane Switcher. You can also remove it from the Pane Switcher, after which it will again be accessible from on object interaction. You can display and hide panes included in the Pane Switcher, using the buttons here. You can also add visuals from Home and Insert tabs. You have list of visuals in the Home tab, along with more visual button to add custom visuals. The same list of visuals, and more visual button, is also available in the Insert tab as well. Let's connect our application to our dataset in MS Excel file, using Get Data feature. In the Navigator window, select the Sales table, and click on the Load button, to load data into the data pane. Due to the new features, we won't need the data pane, so let's close the data pane. Add a text box visual to your dashboard, and enter an appropriate title for your dashboard. You can also add dynamic values inside your text box visual. For example, let's try to add total sales here. As you can see, it has calculated the total sales, which we can save and insert into the text box visual. Add the new card visual to your dashboard. We don't need the data pane, because you can add fields directly from on object interaction. Build a visual button now. Just click on the Add Data, and select your desired field. Add the sales and profit figures to your new card visual. Rename the fields appropriately. Place this visual on the top right corner of the dashboard, right next to the title text box. Change their font size to a smaller size. Increase the font size of title to an appropriate size. Add the new button slicer to your dashboard and place it in the left corner. Add the name field to the button slicer. Change the layout settings to display 4 items in 2 rows. Displaying 2 items per row. Display email addresses of salespersons in the button slicer using the label settings. We will also add visual borders to the button slicer. And also remove the title from the visual. Add a line and column chart to your dashboard. Place the visual on top right corner. Add the date field to the x-axis. Sales field to column y-axis, and profit field to the line y-axis. Keep only month in x-axis. Rename the fields appropriately, and add visual borders to the visual as well. Create a duplicate of the line and column chart, and place it below. Change it to a donut chart. Remove the date and profit fields from the visual. Add the name field to the legend area. Make a copy of this chart, and place it next to the existing one. Replace the sales field with the profit field to display profit by salesperson. Now we need to display salesperson's photos, for which we will connect to the folder in which we have their photos, using the Get Data feature. Enter the address of the folder where the photos have been stored. Click on the Transform button to transform the data in the Power Query window. This is the data imported from the Images folder, containing all the photos. We need to change the content column from binary to text format. We can do this by changing the data type from binary to text. Now, we must create another column and add base 64 prefix before the binary text. Let's call the column base 64. Enter the base 64 prefix and combine it with the content column using the & symbol. The column has been created. It contains the same text as content column, but with addition information at the start. Close and apply the Power Query to load data into the Power BI desktop application. Connect both tables using the file name fields. It is the name field in Images table and the image field in the Sales table. Now, go to the table view and open the Sales table. Add a new column here. Let's call it B64. Use the related function to bring data from the BASE64 column in the Images table to this column. Now we have photos of each individual before their name in base64 format, which we can display in the button slicer. Change the data category of this column to image URL. Go to the report view, and add photos to the button slicer. Go to the images, and select the B64 field as data source. And this is it. Now you have photo of each salesperson, along with their name and email address, on the button slicer. Add a new page to your report. Change the page type to tooltip. Also, change the canvas type to tooltip as well. Copy the profit donut chart visual, and paste it on the tooltip page. Replace the name field in legend area, with the month field. Now, go to the main page, and select the button slicer visual. Turn on the tooltip, and select the page 2, as tooltip page. Now, we will see profit earned by each salesperson, in their tooltip, as soon as we hover the cursor over their photo. Using the on-object interaction, you can now change the format and settings of each element easily. Just double-click on the visual, and then click on any object, and it will be selected, and its relevant settings will also be highlighted. Using the on-object interaction, we can also view visuals, as tables. Now, we can also add visual calculations to our visuals, using on-object interaction. Let's calculate taxes on these profit values, at the rate of 40%, by multiplying profit field by 40 and dividing by 100. And now we have the value of taxes, before each profit value. Let's display these values, in the tooltip text of donut visual. Now, when we will hover our mouse cursor over the donut chart, we will see the taxes on relevant profit values. The on-object interaction also allows us to generate various analysis, such as the explanation for certain increase or decrease. This will generate many charts, explaining the changes we want to understand. Finally, let's explore the newly introduced DAX Query View. We can use this to create DAX queries and view their results. Just like this query. Let's calculate total sales. First, define a variable x, which will calculate and store the sum of total sales. Then, use the evaluate to print the result. Since single value is not accepted, we will convert it into an array, using the curly brackets. When done, press Run to run the query and view the results. Using the DAX Query View, we can easily comment and uncomment the lines, and format query into a proper format. And with this, we end our tutorial. Thanks for watching. We hope you liked our tutorial. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more insightful tutorials and updates.